Yes, guys, we are back once again, guys. Thank you very much for joining me today. I do appreciate it. Today's show, we're going to be looking at Liverpool versus Leeds, match predictions, picking our team, you name it. That's what we're going to do. Also, today, we've got the Jurgen Klopp Press Conference, how we're going to react to it. And on today's show, got a big guest. Everyone knows he's got a great YouTube channel. He hit that 1,000 mark. He's doing great stuff, does great tactical analysis on his channel with G and Roms. Great guy, good friend. I'm going to bring him on the show right now. Big up, Jerry. How you doing, man? How you doing? How you doing? How you doing? Where's my show? Where's it gone? There we go. There we go. StreamYard sticks all the time.
Yeah, it is. It's stiff. It's stiff. Big up to everyone. Thank you for having me on. Big up to everyone in the chat. Make sure we're subscribing, liking. And look, I don't know how many people are in the building. I'm just going to chuck it out there. I want 100 likes before 1 o'clock, people.
There you go. There's the... There it is. The man has said it himself. The man has said it himself. But yeah, big up to everyone in the chat right now. Everyone, thank you very much for coming in on your lunch hour. We do appreciate it. It should be a good show. We're going to react to Jurgen Klopp's press conference first, guys. You know how it is. We're going to let the press conference play. Then we're going to pick it apart in little bits. I think me and Jerry have got some things to say in a way about everything that's been going on. I'd like to hear Jerry's point on the whole Bellingham stuff as well. So I've heard bits on Jerry on his own show, but I like to hear it as well on here. Big up to Andy, Aaron, Jen, K, Bailey in the chat. Everyone in the chat, you're doing well. Yeah, guys, don't forget that like button, and don't forget also subscribe to Jerry's show if you're not subscribed to Jerry's show, guys. And yeah, let's get his subs to 2K the next target, man. His subs to 2K the next target. Right, guys, we are going to share the hell out of this right now. All right, let's see what way we can do this. Let's see what way. There we go. StreamYard in their new layout system, much easier now. Right, guys, we are going to share this out. Right, is everyone ready for the absolute Bellingham 15-minute Bellingham press conference?
Let me get my popcorn out.
Because I don't know how much Leeds stuff is going to be in this press conference, but here we go. All right, let's get the volume up so you guys can hear.
Robertson and the assistant referee last week. Obviously, it's been resolved now as well. How satisfied are you with the resolution and the approach taken by all parties involved?
Very. I think it's now really dealt with really well in the end. So, how I said, I wasn't aware of it during the game, not at all. I only got news after the game, then didn't want to see the pictures before the press conference because it makes life then at least a little bit easier if you don't know exactly what's happening. I have no clue what happened actually. So and meanwhile I saw it, of course, and no, I spoke to.
One thing I forgot, guys. I forgot to put the subtitles on. Jerry, have you ever watched this with subtitles before?
And I need subtitles because I don't know what the hell said.
No, but the subtitles are always wrong. It's hilarious. It's hilarious. I'll put it on for comedic value. We always have the subtitles on. It's hilarious because it's never the right thing. Right, let's go.
Pretty much, I spoke to Robbo and all the other guys. Not to the assistant, was not involved in that talk, but I think it's now dealt with really well, and so now we can carry on.
I've asked you many times about Jude Bellingham this season.
Did you?
Yeah. Is this definitely the last time I'm going to have to ask you? Because is there now no chance at all of him joining Liverpool? And if that's the case, how is the decision not to pursue interest in him being reached?
There's nothing to say about, to be honest. So if we don't speak about players we sign or not sign, why would we now speak about these kind of speculations and these kind of news? So it's really nothing to say about.
I'm looking at it from the point of view that...
From your point of view.
Well, last week you said to me, it's 100% your responsibility what goes on the pitch. This season is 100% your responsibility. But
yes.
Aren't there other factors at play? So if you're interested in a player, but you're not necessarily able to get that deal done, then it's not necessarily down to you. So there's other factors rather than it being down to you solely.
Ooh. And it's still the case. It's nothing. It was always like this. It's never changed. So it's not about Jude Bellingham now. What my answer now? Definitely not. But it's always the case. I never understood. So why we constantly talk about things we theoretically cannot have. So we cannot have 6 players in a summer for everybody's 100 million, for example. Everybody would say that, okay, that's a kind of clear. So, and that's the thing, you have to realize what you can do, and then you have to work with it. So how much money do we have available? And then you have to work with it. And that's the job you have to do. And it's not about, we are not children. When I ask a 5-year-old at Christmas, what do you want for Christmas? And I tell you, I want to have, I don't know, a Ferrari. You wouldn't say, oh, that's a good idea. You would say, no, it's too expensive. And anyway, you cannot drive it. So, and that's how it is. If this kid is then the whole life unhappy because he cannot get a Ferrari, that would be a really sad life. It's just, what can you make? What can you do? And then you do it. And then you work with that. And nothing else to say about. And it was always how I worked. Whatever I want and whatever we need, what we need and what we want, we try absolutely everything to get it. But
Wow. The way I like to work is what he put there.
Jamie, he said it in the summer. It's me. It's all on me. He said it before the Arsenal game. This is all on me. Why are people surprised?
Wow. I said this in my Bellingham show the other day, that Klopp is an enabler of FSG. So if you go at FSG, you've got to go at Klopp at the same time, because he's enabling them to do this kind of business. And wow,
Jamie,
he's coming out of it there in his own talk. I mean, he's not pretending to say something. He's not using code or anything like that. He's just talking.
He's not. Talking. And Jamie, he's not. He look. I'm going to put it out there. He's not enabling FSG. An enabler is like turning a blind eye to something, like saying, "I don't know what's going on. I'm just going to let this happen. Your boy is robbing the store next door when you're in school, and you go in there with him, and you don't really stop him from doing it, and you kind of enable him to." That's an enabler. Klopp's not enabling. This is Klopp. Klopp's decided. Klopp's in this situation. Klopp's the parent, right? Klopp's the parent. He's just said, use the analogy. If you go to a 5-year-old and ask him what he wants for Christmas, and he says he wants Bellingham, right? He realizes, well, I can't go and get Bellingham because it's too much. So you're not going to go and get the Ferrari. That's what Klopp said. Whether Bellingham's a Ferrari or not is another question. That's another debate we can get into. But Klopp's realized. Bellingham's not enough. I can't just get Bellingham and that's it. He done it with Nunes. He's burned himself. He done it with Nunes. He's not going to do it again.
It's mad, don't it? It's mad. Right, let's listen to the rest and see what else he's got to say.
There are moments when you have to accept that this or that is not possible for us. And then you just step aside and do different stuff.
Just on the game, Leeds obviously the only team to have won at Anfield in the Premier League this season.
But they owe us 3 points.
What are you expecting again from them?
Big fight, massive fight. The situation Leeds is in. The last game, of course, as well, which these kind of games can happen. They try everything. I actually think they're not in a pretty good moment. But in that game, they got a proper knock. That's clear because Magic Roy is back. And the savior of Palace, unbelievable. And Palace, anyways, a really good team. A really good team, and you could see that again in these situations, how they played their counterattacks, how they played football in general. So it was a tough one where maybe people thought, oh, Leeds should win against Palace, but when you see Palace and playing, then you ask yourself, well, why they are in that zone of the area of the table. So we expect them to be absolutely on their toes. Massive fight. Proper atmosphere, so will be a tough one, but we have to build now again on 2 games who were good or in moments really good, and for different reasons, and especially the second half against Arsenal was obviously really good, and we have to build on that, and that's what we'll try.
Just following on from that, Jurgen, there seemed to be a kind of, after the second goal, and it was an almost we got nothing to lose kind of attitudes from some of the players, the way they then went about it. Do you feel that that has to be captured and replayed now until the rest of the season? It's almost as if we have nothing to lose.
Yeah, we have nothing to lose really. So what can we are in a position where we don't want to be in a table. That means we have to act a little bit like this. We have to try new things. We have to fight for things. So that's how it is. The things we tried so far this season didn't work out properly, and especially not consistently. And that's what we have to do. Yeah. So I saw that, by the way, earlier. I saw it before we scored the second. You mean when they scored a second goal or what? That didn't hurt me immediately, to be honest. But yeah, I know. Especially from the moment on when we scored our goal, then it was when we were really in the game, and then it was a top performance even, and so that's good. And now, how I said, we had a long training week, and now we have to make sure that we do the right stuff and bring it on the pitch. So that's how it is. All the things are on the table. Everything is clear. We have our home record is not as bad as the away record, but we play away. So anyway, I'm looking forward to the game, and it's a tough one. Leeds will go with all they have. We have to go with all we have, and these kind of things. So Leeds will never be an easy game whenever you go there, but should not be an easy game against us as well. So that's what we have to make sure.
And also mentioned in the game last time, Trent's played a more sort of an inside role at times. He said it wasn't the first time he'd done that, but it's maybe a little more apparent. What do you make of how that is developing, and is that something that we can probably expect to see more in the future, do you think?
Yeah, we have to see, yeah. So that's just a possibility for us. A possibility for us. We did, how I said, we did that before. A lot of moments in this game, it was, well, I'm not sure how to say it, but it happened pretty much more often because we wanted it to happen much more often. So it was different to other times, but it's good. It suited him, but we have to see how that fits to other games. And so it's absolutely possible that sometimes we'll do it and sometimes not. And yeah, that's the situation. That's all. But for him, it was good. Trent was in the second half, I think, with the ball super dominant, and it was obviously really helpful.
Jurgen,
is Diaz 100% ready for this one?
Yeah, he's 100% ready in training, so that's it now. So that's it. He's now completely normal in training, and now we have to reintegrate him. So we will be in the squad. If nothing happens, then Luis will be in the squad, and from there we go. That's it.
You've spoken a lot about him because of his absence from the squad, but does it feel like you've got...
Did I speak a lot about him?
Well, with him coming back to training and...
Since he, yeah.
Is it like having a new player and you sign him back and available for you?
Yeah, absolutely, it is. Luis he developed massively. So in that time now, English getting better. So like really settled. He was here every day. How it is with injured players, and especially long-term injured player, they are even more the training ground than all the others. So every day together with therapists and stuff like this. So it really matured again, much more comfortable than he was in the beginning here with everything in a new country, and so that's really good, and that will help him as well. So we're really happy to have him back. He is like a breath of fresh air, and every day he's in training. He loves out there. I said in the beginning when he came, he cannot train with a smile, without a smile on his face, and that's something really special, and that's exactly how he acts now. But it was out for a long time. That was not his season so far. Now last week we played against Arsenal. Game before against Arsenal, the away game against Arsenal was the game when he got injured. So long time ago. So then one session in Dubai, out again, and now being back, that's really a long time. But it's absolutely fine. He didn't lose his skills. That's good. But how I said, we have to see how we can step by step bring him back in the team.
On a similar vein, Thiago came back and got some minutes, and similar to Lewis, how important will it be to have him back available for you in the run?
Yeah, super important, of course, Thiago, as well. It wasn't allowed for that long, but it was long as well. It's insane how quick time runs, how fast it goes. And yeah, it's a different situation, obviously. Thiago is a candidate for starting. If you start Luis, people will tell me about 30 minutes or stuff like this, and then you can't start him because I have to make the first change a bit early. So that's different. And no, but top rhythm. He can demand rhythm. How we all know, And when he's fresh, then he's a top player, and that's why we are really happy to have him back in training. So far, it looks all good.
And does it almost feel like you're the strongest point you've been for a while in terms of selection with Thiago, Lewis on the way back, Diogo Jota, these kind of players for you now?
Yeah. If they stay, we had don't like too much to talk about these kind of things, because then next moment you get a call that somebody's out. But we had a couple of problems this week.
What?
Ivo couldn't train for 2 days. Should be back today, hopefully. Ali wasn't involved for 2 days. We'll train today.
What? Why is Allison injured? Why is Ibo injured? What the hell? So, hang on. A few minutes ago, he said we had a good, hard, long training week. So, did he train him too hard again? How is Allison and Ibo injured?
Of course, he's a masochist. He's a masochist.
This makes no sense. This makes no sense, because Kanate didn't get injured during the game against Arsenal. He's perfectly fine. Came off the game to high praise, man of match performance, etc. No news of it. Nothing after the game. Klopp saying, "Oh yeah, Klopp, he felt safe in the game." Nothing's come out from the journalists either all week about any kind of injuries. And then we hear that. So what the hell did he do to him in training? Have you seen training videos though, and training pics where they're going in for crunching tackles and stuff like that?
Yeah, I know they're doing that, but I haven't watched inside training in years now, man. We're just a complete mess. So it is what it is. Yeah.
My daughter just came into the room, and I think she agreed. She couldn't believe it either. Screaming her out.
Thiago just in tears, everyone being bent and twisted. Yeah.
This is just a madness, right? Let's finish it off.
Today individually, so a little bit illness here, a little bit knocks there. So we had a few problems, and hopefully we'll not get more. But if they are all in, then I think we have 5-6 players not in the squad. Matchday squad. This is a lot. It's a lot, and so they all train well. I cannot. If it would be easy for me, if somebody is not showing up, then it's a very easy decision. But there are no easy decisions. Who stays at home, stuff like this. So that's tough for a few boys, but really good for us. And we never had that, and that's positive, absolutely.
Yeah, Carl, we do a PA at the back.
Jurgen, it's been 5 games without a win since the 7-0 against United. Was there a reaction to that result that's maybe worked against you?
We played the game after United was Bournemouth, wasn't it? Yeah. And yeah, we didn't play at the same level exactly, but it's different and difficult to replicate performances. So you have to fight into such a game. And in the end, it was obviously everything was tough to take from there. But we could have turned the game around in a specific moment, and didn't. And then after that was, I don't know what was exactly Madrid. So I know it was. The results weren't great, but the performances weren't great. After 7.
Jerry, how can this team go from beating our arch rivals, then nemesis 7-0, and then not perform the following week?
And then use the argument that it's difficult. It's difficult to replicate games. You're not playing Man United again. It's not like a reverse fixture. He's actually. It's an illness. It's an illness. It's an illness at this point. He's ill.
Oh, I don't know what's happened to him, man. It's not. I mean, if I go back to Jurgen a few years back, he didn't talk like this. You know, something's. I don't know what it. Maybe it is the owners. Maybe the owners are getting him down, like everyone says. But if that's the case, why stay at the football club?
He's getting himself down. The problem is that when you go and this is what happens when you go and win, when you are successful, the more pressure comes with it. It's just the way it is. And right now, you are seeing Klopp not being the underdog anymore, and struggling to go and provide. If we were the underdogs, if we were still 4th and 8th and hadn't won the league, he wouldn't be talking like this. He'd be right in his element.
Yeah,
But there's a difference. There's a difference when everyone's looking at you saying, "Look, you're the top dog, and we're coming to come and get you." There's a difference. There's a massive difference.
Oh man, it's mad. Big up DJ Brands for super chat. I've saved it, mate. I'll read it in a sec.
7-0. I'm not sure you can really learn how to deal with it. To be honest, the boys, it's not that we were flying through the week. It's more these little expectation inside yourself where you think, okay, things are clicking now. I'm scoring, stuff like this, and you realize, oh, it's different. Things are not going that well today. So winning 2-0 in 5 times in a row is much more. It's much better than having these bam, because of a super strange season. I think we all agree it's not our best season, but the 2 highest results in our history. So absolutely strange. So it always shows, okay, they can do that. Why can't they do it every week? And that's a good question. And we have to work on the answer. Absolutely. But that's it. The reaction could have been better probably, but it was not intentional. Not neither from the boys nor from me. We didn't think we are the greatest just because we beat United with that crazy result. Things happened because we are not consistent. That's this season. We're not consistent this season. That's the problem.
Spoken about last week, you were looking forward to having a full week to work with ahead of this game. Have you been able to do anything different?
Yes, of course. You want to know what we do in training or what?
Injure players.
Of course, yeah, it's different. You can go through pretty much everything what is important in football. You can work on defensive stuff. You can work on offensive stuff. You can do finishing. You can do even endurance if you want. You can do everything in such a long week. You have really time to train. When you usually in a short week, you recover most of the time and give the information all in meetings, and that's a massive difference. That's a week where you turn into a coach again, and not being just a manager to pick the team and set the tactics up and stuff like this. So this is proper coaching. Yeah, I enjoyed a lot.
I don't know about you, Jerry, but I expect a massive result against Leeds.
I don't.
Because the way he's talking about, like I've always said, look, I think people always forget what Klopp talks and how he talks and what he says. Like when he first came to this football club, everyone always mentioned about transfers, buying players and stuff like that. And he's always said since the day when he's been at this football club that training and coaching is bigger than everything else. You know, you can have a decent player and coach him to be class. For him, that's better than going and buying an already class player. He said it many times before, and he continues saying it.
Also. Yeah, you're right.
He's been saying it his whole Liverpool career, but still, some fans just don't believe him saying that. They think he talks in code, like Klopp's talking in code or something.
Listen. The conspiracy theories are crazy. I have heard this is a smoke screen, this whole Bellingham situation. I have heard that when he's looking into the camera and looks to the left, when he's having his press conferences, he's actually trying. He's doing get out. He's like, help! FSG have got me. Like,
no. Agent's there, and he's got a lawyer and an agent there, and he's
got John Henry there with a gun.
Because his lawyer and I think the lawyers are there because he has to know if he's allowed to say certain things live in a press conference.
Yeah, of course.
That's why he looks over there. It's not like, oh, can I say that? Because there's a room full of like 30, 50 press people.
The gun is just behind his kneecap, as he's sitting down, just waiting. Just go on, Klopp, say something that's going to incriminate us. Boom. Yeah.
It's almost like Stockholm syndrome now.
He's ill.
It's almost like, when someone falls in love with their capture and they see all they see is the good in them.
Yeah, they just start like, do you know what I mean? Help me.
Maybe Jurgen's just got Stockholm syndrome. He don't know how to get out of it. I'm not sure, but this is balmy. I mean, the way he's saying we had a great training session. The players are lively, they're looking good. Obviously, the training was a bit hard because some of them picked up knocks. But he talks about it like it's a good thing. That's what I don't get. Oh, no, yeah, Ibu got a knock or Ali was ill, but that's all right because it means training was good. No. I mean, do you know when people used to tackle Maradona in training, they'd be suspended and wouldn't play for weeks
Yeah.
because
Yeah,
they're
I know,
like, why would you do that? You know, like, can you imagine us? Oh, yeah, that's all right. Lay one in Mo. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
It's a madness, right? I think we've got a couple of minutes left, haven't we?
Jurgen, tomorrow is the anniversary of the Hillsborough disaster. Arsenal fans, quite rightly, were commended last Sunday for the respect they showed.
Yeah, big up Arsenal.
But it's not typical, is it? How incredible do you find it that Liverpool fans are still subjected to chants about Hillsborough, and what can be done about it?
First and foremost, you're right. It was probably the most respectful minute of silence I've ever witnessed last week. There was absolutely no noise apart from a little baby, and that was absolutely fine. That you could hear the baby even showed how silent it was. And I have no explanation for this.
Firstly, why didn't someone shut their baby up? No, I'm only joking. I'm a dad. I can say these jokes, right?
Football supporters can be a really mean group. So that's how it is. If you find a weak point of somebody, then you just put your finger in it. I have a lot of groups. Football supporters are guilty of that, not only in football, in sports in general. You have a look what they don't like, and boom, you put the finger in. I think the more attention you give it, the more often they will do it. It's not so much how other people think about our situation in that specific case as well. It's much more how we think about it. Now, the real special thing is that we as a Liverpool family come still together in these decisive moments. Like tomorrow morning, for example, Hendo and I will go to Anfield and show our respect. And it was not for 1 second a duty since I'm here, because of the way we all deal with it. And that's much more important. If other people don't understand it, I'm not too bothered about, to be honest, because that's their fault, not ours, and why should we really be worried about it? But again, I have to say it was really obvious how the Arsenal supported in that moment, how that worked out. That was really, it was touching, to be honest.
Are we mouth open?
Whoa. Yeah. I mean, no, I will say the Arsenal fans, the Arsenal fans the other day, much respect. That was a tremendous minute. I will say that was a tremendous minute silence. The Arsenal team as well. Much respect and love to them. Now that's the real Arsenal fan base that was at that game, not some of the toxic ones you see on Twitter. So yeah, much respect to them. Much respect to them. Jerry, what do you take from that press conference then? So he spoke about the Bellingham situation, basically saying he basically said, look, I sort of agree with the owner's take on this. We need more than one player, and spending 150 million on one player when we need. He said like 6 is hypothetical. Made sense.
No, but Jamie, yeah, but look, people need to get it in their heads. John Henry, Tom Werner are not the ones that authorize these sanctions. They don't micromanage. They're not micromanaging owners. You know that by the way they do dealings. They don't come to games. They're in the States. They're not hands-on type of managers. They're not, owners. They're not hands-on type of owners. So what you're seeing there is it's not them that have done this. It's not the owners. It's Klopp. Right now, we have no director of football. Julian Ward is stepping down. Michael Edwards is gone. Mike Gordon has taken a back seat and has said, you know what, I'm not getting involved in this. Neil Jones said it from goal, and big up to him. He was on Redmen TV. He actually put it. He said Klopp's probably got the most power of any manager when it comes to signings and recruitment in the Premier League. This is Klopp's decision. They've told him, and he knew, you're going to have this amount of money. You can buy whoever you want. This is your budget. This whole time, he was at Bellingham. He was talking to us about Bellingham. I know on record he was giving FaceTime calls with Bellingham after in the World Cup, begging and crying, getting frustrated that Bellingham weren't picking up his calls. You had Hendo doing his grooming. Trent took him on a date to go and watch Chris Brown. The grooming's been ridiculous. And now, it's realised, oh, I know I've got the budget, but, and this was after the City game, I'll tell you, because you would have never dropped Salah, never dropped Van Dijk in the way he did. He went and realised it's not just Bellingham and another midfielder. We might need a right back. We might need a right winger for competition for Salah. The heck, we might even need a striker because Núñez plays better on the left. So now we're actually finished, and I'm going to have to go and stretch my resources. And for people just to go and say, yeah, just spend the money on. No, that's not. You know how the owners, you know how the model is. They haven't got the money in the same way as City do. That's a completely different argument. In the summer, we all wanted a midfielder. After the Champions League, we all said we wanted a midfielder, and we asked for one. What did Klopp go and do? We got Carvalho that came in, Núñez came in, and Gakpo came in the January. 3 forwards.
We have spent 100. We have spent. I've just seen it here. Someone just put up on Twitter because they're talking about the Klopp press conference because people are still. You say like there's people that put up his press conference and say he's still like protecting the owners. Why is he protecting the owners? He must, and all that stuff. He's talking in code. Look at him. He looks ill. He looks unhappy. Klopp didn't look unhappy to me. He looked fine. But also someone put on there. No one ever mentions that Klopp spent 160 million on 3 forwards. 160 million on 3 forwards. Diaz, Darwin, and Gakpo. When you could have midfielders, so money's there. That's what we're saying. Money's there.
Exactly, and this is what I'm saying. And this is what I'm saying is, we went and were offered Núñez from Wolves. We said no to halfway through the season, then turn around and be like, actually, can we get him in the summer, please? What? Like, this manager's been backed. Jamie, we said it offline. Let me know in the chat, what player has Klopp not been able to sign because we haven't got the money? Forget how the money comes in. Forget whether they had to go and sell one of their kidneys, whether John Werner had to, strip and earn their money that way. However the money came in. Alisson, Van Dijk, Fabinho, Naby Keita, Gakpo, Núñez, Luis Diaz, Konate, the list, Jota, the list goes on. He spent money on players that are 45 million plus.
These are quality players. This is the thing. We're buying quality players. We're not buying rubbish, average players. Look, people might not like Darwin, but Darwin was like a lot of big teams were interested in Darwin Núñez. He was a big player. People were interested. People might not like him and think he's not a great player, but he would have gone somewhere. He would have gone to a big football team. So that's a big transfer still.
And look at this. And in that whole time, we've only brought Naby Keita, Fabinho, and Thiago as midfielders. We extended Milner. We extended Henderson. These are FSG aren't forcing Klopp to do this. So this narrative that like we said, gone to the back of Klopp's head, and you just got to make do. He's not. Look, that argument I would be comfortable with that argument if we sat here and was like, look, Klopp's. He's getting these players, but the players are just poor. Like, we needed a midfielder, but we went and got Sander Berge from Sheffield because we've got no money, and we needed a forward, so we went and got Rodrigo from Leeds. Like, that would be like, oh, okay, look. Yeah, there's a money problem because we're buying the players in the right areas, but they're just not of the quality. Klopp is the one who's mortgaged. He's mortgaged 2 seasons on Bellingham. He wanted Bellingham. He sacked everyone off because he didn't want Bellingham. Think we could have got Caicedo.
Oh, it's man. I don't believe this either. I don't believe this. So Edward, I love Edward. He's a great guy. Do you realise that we've been punching way above our weight past 6 or 7 seasons? Minor footballing miracles. I don't go with this minor footballing miracle nonsense. If you look at Liverpool's team when they won the Premier League and Champions League, name me many better 11s than that team in world football at the time. There weren't many. There weren't many. And we're sitting here as a Liverpool fan base. You sat here years ago and said, we've got the best keeper in the world. We've got the best fullbacks in the world right now. Salah's the best right forward in the world. We've got Mane. Bobby Firmino's the best false nine. We can't. You got Van Dijk. You got Matt. The team we had when we won the Premier League and Champions League. I expected us to challenge for them trophies. I don't know about you, Jerry, but I expected us to challenge for them trophies because of the squad we had. And yes, you got a world-class manager in Klopp at the time to go with that squad. Then I expect to win Premier League and Champions League. For me, that's not a minor miracle. He's performing great stuff with a fantastic squad. So in that case, is Mikel Arteta performing a miracle right now with Arsenal? Because why do we always put down why do Liverpool fans always put down our own squad to defend Jurgen Klopp? Why do we always put down our players and our squad and how good it actually is just to defend Jurgen Klopp so it makes it look like he's doing a better job than he actually is? I've never understood this. Why do we always slag? I never heard anyone slag off a single Liverpool player when we won the Premier League and Champions League. Ever. I remember everyone. I used to go and Coppish before I did YouTube. I go and Coppish, and they're all talking about name me a better. I remember Cow and all that used to say, name me a better 11 in the league right now. So I'll be better in cities. So all this minor miracle stuff has to stop. It really does. I look at our team now. This team shouldn't be out the top 4 for me if it played better. It shouldn't be out the top 4 for me. And it's got to stop. This minor miracle stuff's got to stop. It really has. I don't know about you, Jerry.
No, it's a bit disingenuous because when we're saying that, we're ultimately just saying that Klopp and everything and all the work that we've done and the players aren't as good. They haven't put the work in. They don't deserve to be there. It's just happened, and it's like, oh my god, is that Leicester? It's just happened, but we're really not good enough. Like, put some respect on the manager. Put some respect on the process. And if you do that, then you have to upkeep a certain standard, and a certain standard is Jurgen Klopp's a big, great manager. You have to go and keep him up to that standard. So are the players. So are the owners, because you don't get to where we are without the recruitment team. Now, Klopp didn't bring Michael Edwards in, for instance.
No.
That was FSG.
Exactly. It's all runs together. You have owners, you have the manager, you have a coach, you have scouting, and they all work together beautifully. And look, a few years ago, this club worked together beautifully. Michael Edwards was doing his role. Klopp was doing his roles. For me, he was probably the best manager around world football at that time. And everyone had their roles in the team. And now all of a sudden, I knew, like Cherry would probably say as well, a few years back when we were winning things and being successful, I knew individual roles in this team. I think everyone stayed out of everyone's business and everyone did their jobs at this football club. Now it looks like there's just 2 people that run this football club, and that's John W. Henry and Jurgen Klopp. And that's the difference now. So that's why people come for Klopp now, because he looks like he looks like, as everyone said, he looks like he's in bed with the owners. How many elite managers, let's go with this, how many elite managers would put up with FSG? Right? How many elite managers would Antonio Conte, if he got promised Jude Bellingham a year back and said, like, don't worry about it, next year I promise you I'll give you everything, you're getting Jude Bellingham. Don't worry about it. Don't sign that player. Don't sign that player, because I will give you Jude Bellingham. And then it come to that summer, and it's like, and they went to him, look, that Jude Bellingham talk? No, it ain't going to happen there, man. Ain't going to happen there, man. We're going to change that up. Conte would leave that football club. Right? Like what? Because he doesn't want to look like he agrees with the owners, because he's not getting something he wants. And when I look at Klopp, I've always said I love the guy. He's my favourite manager since Kenny Dalglish. There's no doubt about that. But the fan base sometimes acts like the man can't be at fault for anything, and that's what annoys me. I've had to go in mostly this season because of tactical and coaching, and people go, well, what do you want me to do with these players? I was like, do better. He's on £15 million a year. We come at, I hear people go at Mo Salah say, do better because he's on 350 grand a week. Yeah. Do better, Mo. You're on 350 grand a week now. You're a top earner. You need to show it, right? You're not showing it since you got that wage. Why do we never say that about Klopp, who's on £15 million a year?
Facts.
I mean, I don't get it. I don't get it. We can't pick and choose. Everything's crap. There's no one around here who's backing our owners. We all know the owners what they are. They're tight. They give what they give. But if Jurgen sticks by them and stays with them, if Jurgen got promised Jude Bellingham, I keep saying this, Jurgen got promised Jude Bellingham. He put our team on ice for 12 months. It's a fact. He didn't want no one else because he thought he was going to get Bellingham this summer. And he knows what we got to spend. Look, Klopp's not stupid. He knows how much we got to spend. So he thought, if I get anyone else, I'm not going to get my prized possession that I really want. So I'm going to wait, get Jude. And then they turn around to tell him, right, we're not going to actually get Jude now because we've actually looked at it and his team's a mess. And we need 3 or 4 players. And if we buy Jude, it's too much.
Yeah, but I think Klopp's the one that's decided that. John Henry hasn't got a clue about football. He's not the one telling them. Yeah, he's not like Roman Abramovich, which is like playing chess or playing a game, playing drafts with his friends. You're talking about a person that's not involved in the football side of stuff. He owns the business. He doesn't run it. He doesn't have an office at AXA above Klopp's, do you know what I mean? Above Klopp's office, where Klopp's got to go to him and ask him, yeah, well, we need this. That's not how it works. Klopp knows how the business works. He knows how much money they're gonna get. He already went and budgeted for that. They've told him, this is how much you're getting. Do with it what you want. Because I'm telling you now, if it was FSG would have forced him to sign a midfielder. They would have forced him to go and sign the centre back earlier. They would have forced him to go and potentially not sign a certain Darwin Núñez and sign this because Julian Ward apparently wasn't up for it. Michael Edwards didn't want him to sign him.
No.
Michael Edwards didn't want the club to sign him. So this is Klopp. Klopp's made the decision. Look, I want this player. I want that player. And now he's realised, actually, it might be the wrong thing. And the other thing we've got to go and look at, people, and I use this analogy. If, let's say you're someone and you haven't got a lot of money and you've got your missus and, do you know what I mean? Your missus wants to do something for an anniversary or birthday, right? And you're like, look, I mean, I'm going to do as much as I can, but I can't take you to Dubai or I can't take you to Las Vegas and I can't take you to the Maldives because I haven't got the money for that, but we can go to Spain instead, right? If your wife is understanding of that or your partner's understanding of that and goes, no, you know what? Yeah, you're right. Spain's actually going to be really, really good. She's not enabling you. She agrees that that's the right decision. Klopp agrees it's the right decision to not go for Bellingham. It's not that he wants Bellingham and FSG have said, no, stop. You're not getting Bellingham anymore. It's not the argument of the missus saying, nah, you're not treating me right. You're not taking me to Dubai. You're not taking me to Las Vegas or the Maldives or Thailand. You're not treating me like any other players. He's not looking at it like that. He's looking at it and saying, you know what? I get it. But FSG haven't come to him with this ultimatum saying, actually, we were in for Bellingham, but now we're going to have to backtrack. And he's just saying, okay. He's made that decision. He's chosen and looked at it and said, this doesn't make sense for the club. But I haven't got a problem for that because I actually agree. I agree with what that is. He's not a game changer like that. Bellingham's not the game changer. His statement, he's not a game changer. But why did you waste 2 years doing that? But why did you waste 2 years?
That's my biggest issue. That's my biggest issue. Is that's my biggest issue of this whole thing, that I'm not actually too bothered about not getting Jude. It's about the time we wasted. What it looked like is that we're in the friend zone all the time. You know what I mean? We're trying to date a girl. We're liking her. She's cool with us. We go out every weekend. It's been a while now. And you make that final move and she turns around and goes, Jamie, I like you more like a brother. He's like, okay, I wasted my whole time. I've wasted hundreds and hundreds of pounds on this woman, and she's going to treat me like that. And that's what Liverpool Football Club are. We're too nice. I think we're just too soft as a club in our full approach with everything we do. I think FSG are too soft because they're not that hands-on, because they don't really come to England, they don't come to games, they don't really come to anything, so they sit back. So they're a soft approach to everything, you know. And Jurgen Klopp, he's not the ruthless manager everyone wants him to be. Because if he was the ruthless manager, look, if everyone in this fan base wants a real transition, right, and change this club around, then players like Hendo, Milner, and Fabinho need to leave this summer. But they won't. Milner is active. Look, who are we actively trying to get rid of out of this football club right now?
No one.
Milner, they're trying to keep him to stay. They're not actively letting him go.
Hold on. And Jamie, are FSG the ones that are forcing Klopp to do this? Are FSG the ones that went and forced Hendo to sign the extension, and Klopp was like, no, I don't want this. Like, people need to actually just open their eyes. FSG are an ownership. They own something. It's like flipping Nike own Air Jordan. Nike own Air Jordan. Huh?
Yeah.
They're good, yeah. Nike own Air Jordan.
Yeah.
But they don't go and tell the Air Jordan designers how to go and design the trainers. They're just like, do your thing. He's the this idea that FSG are forcing Klopp's hand and they're telling him who to buy and he hasn't got any control. What you're saying, you're actually calling Klopp a mug in that regard. You're saying that he's just there and he's just like pandering to everything. He's like, okay, well, I'll sign another extension at Liverpool then. I know it's really bad, but I'm going to do it anyway. Why is he doing that? Why is he doing that? He wouldn't do that. That you're talking about that's at the top level of his profession. You're trying to tell me he gets there with no brain cells in his head. Come on. Like, come on.
It's mad. It's mad, ain't it? Look, everyone always says let's wait till when Klopp leaves, see what he does. You know, how he talks about the club after. He'll probably talk about the club in. Look, there's no doubt about it. Jurgen Klopp absolutely loves Liverpool. There's no doubt about it. He loves the club. And he loves the fan base, and he loves everything about it. He loves Anfield. He loves everything about it, right? And he ain't going to go. People go, I can't wait to read the book on Klopp when he actually goes at the owners when he leaves. He ain't going to have a go at these owners. I've said it many times before. I think Klopp likes the way FSG run a business in a personal standpoint.
Yes.
Klopp has said it many times. Go and watch Klopp interviews. I remember watching Klopp interviews when they talked about COVID in the pandemic, when it weren't about football, right? When he was talking about COVID. And I remember people were picking up his interviews online and saying he should be prime minister because how well he speaks. You know, because Jurgen Klopp is like a socialist. He's left wing, right? He has views that he doesn't like state ownership football clubs. He doesn't like the money that's in football right now. He can't stand it from his own point of view. He probably likes the way FSG actually run a business, and he's not going to go and, if he likes the way FSG run a business, he's not then going to go and slag off FSG for running a business that he actually likes. So, you know, he goes against his own morals if he does that. So that's why I say, like, I wouldn't be surprised in 2 years' time if Klopp signs a new deal again. If Klopp does sign a new deal with this football club and stays at this football club, knowing everything that's gone on, I think the whole discussion about Klopp and FSG have to stop. I literally think everyone will have to talk about, you know, when you're talking about FSG, you put him and Klopp and FSG all in one big pie. You know, it's just it's 1 meal. You know,
it's a hot pot.
Yeah, exactly. It's just 1 meal, man. It's just, if Klopp signs a new contract, I think that's how everyone's going to see it. Look, people are already thinking it now. It's like, why did he stay? Because I said it as soon as the Bellingham news broke, and we ain't go to buy him. I said it when I went on my live that night, like 1 a.m. Madness. That
yeah. 1 second, 2 seconds. I want to address Eric's comment there because it's actually a really good comment, I think. Eric 22B saying, JJ, what you're saying is FSG just sit in the USA and let Klopp and co just get on with it. I very much doubt that. And if that's the case, why did John have to do that video against the Super League? I'll explain that. John Henry is the face, is the owner of the company, right? So when they go and make that decision, and they make the decision to join the Super League, that's such a big decision because that's changing the trajectory of the club in terms of we're moving away from this established league to a next league. That's a discussion that John Henry's going to be involved in. When they've got the board meeting, he's going to be the head of that board and they're going to be discussing that, because that's a massive... It's like if they went and decided, when they talk about the sale of Liverpool, he's going to be involved in that discussion in some regard, because it's a massive, massive move. That's on a macro scale. The individual players that we're buying are micro scale. They're so small in comparison to the whole massive company in regards to what's going on. John Henry doesn't know who we're signing, what player he is, what it is, unless it's got massive repercussions. And of course, if you go and hear of them, he's not going to know what's going on like that. That's how businesses work. That's how businesses operate. There's a reason why we've got people in place. So you had Mike Gordon, you have Michael Edwards, you've got the you got the chief operating officer, you've got Klopp. There's a reason why Klopp has Linders, and he's got physios, and he's got trainers, and he's got data analysts, because you can't micromanage every single aspect of the club. So in regards to that, that's why he went and explained the Super League situation. In terms of what's going on in the USA, yes, it is the case. Go and speak to Arsenal fans about why the Cronkies were moving, why they didn't like the Cronkies. Because they didn't like the way the Cronkies weren't involved. The fact that they didn't come to games, but the fact that they didn't care, because as football fans, we associate owners with being these kind of hands-on types of owners. If you got to look at any other sport, it's not like that. That John Henry is not watching every single game and analysing it and chatting to Klopp about what's going on. He's just looking at the end result. Where did we finish in the league? How much money did we make? All right, cool. Well, if we made this amount of money with this model, this is the amount that's going to be available to you. That's what we're talking about. So we've got to kind of understand how businesses operate, and the fact that Klopp has a lot more power than we think. Michael Edwards had a lot more power than we think in terms of who we bought on that scale, on that side of things. In terms of when you're talking about football sale, that's why Klopp doesn't get involved in the conversation when we're talking about whether we're getting sold or not, because he might know what's going on, but he's not involved in that conversation. He's just an employee.
Yeah.
The owner, the manager of your local Primark doesn't know what transactions being made at any particular time when a woman comes in and buys some earrings. He doesn't know what's going on. He's doing other stuff.
Yeah, exactly. And Eric, I agree, Eric. Look, yeah, Klopp doesn't know. He doesn't get to know how much money to spend, and I agree with that. But if FSG go to him in the summer, look, Klopp, you got 150 mil. You can get whoever you want. Because I will say one thing: FSG don't get really. If Klopp really wants a player, usually gets it. So apart from Bellingham, unless the data analysts come to him and go, right, yeah, you wanted Julian Brand, but yeah, this Mo Salah's going to kill it if we get him. Things like that you can change that. I'm fine with, yeah. But if Klopp's been told, I've got 150 million to spend this summer, all right, and that's what FSG have told him this summer. Look, Jurgen, you got 150 million to spend this summer. You want Bellingham, but that's going to be a whole transfer thing. You have to sell players then to get other players in. And we've looked at it. The team needs changing. Klopp's agreed. I mean, Klopp's admitted it this season. At the beginning of the season, he named every midfielder and said, who can I get better? Right? Because in Klopp's mind, they almost took him to the promised land and completed football the season before. Right? So in his eyes, he doesn't feel like, what can I get that can improve what we did last season? It's going to be, to improve that, you're going to have to spend hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of millions, which we don't have as a football club. So named them all off, couldn't get anyone. The one he wanted was Tuchemani. We know what happened there. He went to Real Madrid. So if he's told he's got 150 million, then as I said on it, we just watched his press conference, his 15-minute press conference. Klopp did not sound depressed. He did not sound down in the dumps. He sounded like he agreed with the decision. And it looks like Klopp realises that we need at least 3 brand new midfielders next season. So if he's realised that and he's gone, right, we're not a club that can afford Jude Bellingham at 150 million plus player A, player B, player C. And by the way, even the wealthiest owners in the world, buying Jude Bellingham for 150 million and then buying 3 other midfielders for like 40, 50, 60 million pound each would be still very difficult to do. So, You know, I know everyone's looking at Chelsea, but Chelsea could have shot themselves in the foot with the transfers they've done, because a lot of the players they bought are pretty crap, and you know, and they've wasted a lot of money. Do you want Liverpool to waste 600 million like that on players that are overrated? Would Liverpool go and buy Fofana for 85 million? I wouldn't want us to do that. That's a madness of a transfer when there's better defenders out there for a lot cheaper. I've never understood this. I mean, Jack Grealish got bought for 100 million from Man City. Jack Grealish is a very good footballer. There's no doubt about it. But was he better than a 35 million pound Mane? You know, you got to. Sometimes it don't matter. Sometimes it's wise spending. You know, you can spend wisely. And I've always said there's excellent midfielders all across Europe right now that you can pick up for 40 million quid. That will do a miles better job than any midfielder we got now. You can go, if you're telling me I've got a choice between Bellingham and Nico Barella, and Barella's 50 million and Bellingham's 150 million, I'm picking Barella every day of the week, right? Yeah. Plus, I think there's a bit more to Barella's game. I said this the other day about Bellingham as well. I don't know what Bellingham's strengths are at the moment because he's only 19 years old. I don't know what Bellingham's eventually going to be as a midfielder. Is he just that PMP box to box power player, power and pace box to box? If that's the case, that's what he is as a player for his career. Is that 150 million of a player? You know, people compare him to Gerrard. He's no Steven Gerrard. Gerrard was not just box to box. Gerrard was I've said it before, him and Wayne Rooney are the two British footballers I've ever seen in my lifetime, right? And there's totally different ways of playing. Is Bellingham going to get 15 to 20 goals a season? Is he going to get assists? Or is he going to play, because he's got power and pace and he can run and he's mobile, is he going to play in that position in the number 8 where Hendo plays and covers fullback for Trent when he gets forward? Do you want Bellingham to come in for 150 million to be a Hendo replacement to allow Trent to be more actively forward in this inverted role where Bellingham can tuck in? Because that's a waste of money. So go and get players that can do that better for cheaper price and improve our team. I don't see the problem with it. My whole problem with this whole stuff is that we wasted 12 months of this football club. So no matter who we buy in the summer, we are going to be 12 months behind everyone else still. So that's my main problem with it. And I did a video the other day, guys, FSG out. I've already said it. I've never said it before. I even tweeted it the other day. First time I've ever tweeted them words. You know, that's how I feel. But I can't sit here at the same time and think Jurgen Klopp is completely blameless, because that's silly. He's the face of our football club. Jurgen Klopp, if he really wanted to, he could actually put these owners in such a dangerous situation, because Klopp's got all the power. If Klopp really wanted to, he could make ultimatums. He could go, right, I'm leaving this football club because there's nothing I can do no more, because, you know, he can make it without saying it. He can say it in ways that we all know what he's talking about, and everyone in this fan base will go at FSG and hand them out. But he doesn't do that. He sits there in his comfortable office, picking up £15 million a year, and looks like he agrees with FSG. So when we're talking about FSG, we all got the same thing. We want them gone, or spend more money, do whatever it is you need to do. But at the same time, for me, Jurgen Klopp ain't blameless. And it's as simple as that. If people think Jurgen Klopp's blameless, then I've had people go at me this season, because I go at Klopp this season, yeah, for the first ever time. Never done it before, but I've seen issues, right? We're 8th in the Premier League. You know, it's not just the owners why we're 8th in the Premier League. You know, it's madness to think. You know, we've got Darwin Núñez and Gakpo. You know, we got a number. We got Carvalho in the summer, a high price number 10 that a lot of big clubs were looking at. Who's got a lot about his game, and we don't use him at all. We wasted his first year at Liverpool. Yeah, he's wasted. Yeah, should have just gone on loan to a Premier. Stayed at Fulham in the Premier League for a year, so he got used to it. Then took him. We wasted his first year at Liverpool. Why did we get him? Who's that down to? You know, then we went and go, we got Trent cover at right back at last. A teenager from Aberdeen who's never played Premier League games. And then we killed him in training. You know, it's just, you know, and there's tactical issues. We're still playing 4-3-3 with a midfield that can't press opposition's midfields no more. We're playing high lines with Virgil with a dodgy knee that can't twist and turn as quick and as agile as he did before the injury. So we're doing things in our system that makes no sense still to the football club. And we're wondering why there's issues. And people come at me in my comments after videos going, you keep blaming Jurgen for systems and setups and formations. It's not his fault. It's like, I can't win. I can't talk to these people no more. These Kloppites, the Kloppites are just, it's a madness. And you know what irritates me the most? I know Klopp can do better. That's what irritates me the most. I know he can do better. I watched his Borussia Dortmund team. He played a number 10. He had technical ballers in that Borussia Dortmund team. Yeah? So I know Klopp can do it. But he came to Liverpool, and at Liverpool, he fell into something that suited him. He fell into a comfort zone of a pressing team with a workhorse midfield and that false number 9. By the way, guys, we bought Darwin Núñez as our main striker in the summer. And then they went, right, let's go and buy Gakpo, a left winger, and play in false 9. And then Darwin Núñez is playing left wing. It's just, I bet Darwin Núñez thought, oh, at last, Gakpo's coming, a creative winger. Now I can get in the box and get on the end of things and stuff like that, you know? And then it's like, no. You got to stay out there on the left wing, and we're going to play the left winger as the false number 9. Now, make it make sense, guys. That's all I'm asking. Let's do these super chats. DJ Brains. Jamie, I think Flop is going to sign 2 homegrown players. Milner out, Ox out. We need 2 homegrown players to replace them, Matt and Gallagher. Yeah, you got to remember as well, next season, you've got to have so many homegrown players in your 25 match day squad, I think. So, yeah, you got to, it's got. I'll tell you, the biggest team that's got problems with that, Wolves. You know.
Yeah, Wolves are going to have to end Liga North. They're going to be playing in the Portuguese league.
They have to get rid of so many of their foreign players. If we sign Conor Gallagher, Mason Mount, Ugarte, and Barella, I'd be okay with that. Do you think that would be a good window? Look, I don't mind Mason Mount. I don't get the hate. I really don't get the hate. I actually think Mason. I'm looking at Mason Mount, Champions League winner with Chelsea, and that season that they won the Champions League, he weren't a bit part player. He was very important to their side. You know, he weren't a Ryan Brewster just turned up. You know, he was important to their side. I believe he won back-to-back Players of the Year for Chelsea, and only Eden Hazard has done that, I believe. You know, we're not talking about, he's not a dead player or anything. He's a good footballer. And I actually think he suits Jurgen Klopp's system. And I've been saying this for time. Systems in football now have taken over so big. You know, because the fear of losing is so high now, and so much money in football, that everything's about systems now. And I've said it before, Jurgen Klopp's system, when it's played right and he's got the right players in, is a great system. Yeah. And I've always said it as well. Jurgen Klopp, for that reason as well, is quite a one-dimensional manager. All right. That's why when things go wrong, like injuries and things like that, and he hasn't got players that suit his system anymore, he doesn't change it because he doesn't know how to. Great. So it's not. That's not a disrespect to him either. I'd say Mourinho's a sort of one-dimensional manager. He's got a way of playing. Yeah. It doesn't really come from that.
Although what I would say, Jamie, is that Mourinho, one thing that he does is that he'll adapt. He'll know he's got a style of play, and that's fine. He'll go and look at, all right, we're playing Liverpool. Coutinho's on fire, playing in that 10 or Sterling is. What we're going to do, we're going to play Kurt Zouma in midfield. We're going to disrupt that. And he's going to go and do certain things and be adaptable and malleable to a certain extent to go and counter what the opposition are doing. Klopp doesn't do that enough. And I think sometimes we be able to go and do that. So if that means dropping the high line a bit, if it means Trent not bombing on, if it means we don't press as much, but then we're a bit more creative with the ball, we have to be a bit more adaptable if we're going to be able to kind of sustain any type of sort of pressure. Because right now, playing this one way, it's got to be high energy. If it doesn't work, if the stars don't align on that day, it's over. I mean, when the stars align, we get results. Look at United. 7-0 as an example, but yeah, it rarely happens, man. Rarely happens. I think Jamie's gone, so
I mean, it's the wife just asked me a question, guys. The wife just asked me a question.
No worries.
You know, you got to answer your wife straight away, guys. It's a life lesson to all the husbands out there. Yep. Answer your wife straight away. She's laughing there. Big ass and Jamie Mant is a non-starter for me. I don't want to see him in red. I'd rather get Manu Kone for half the price, 35 million quid. No, I'm not going to go against people's things. I understand that as well, but I just feel like Klopp's got a certain system, and I wonder what people would have thought when we got Gini Wijnaldum from Newcastle. You know, because we weren't all. You know, I weren't doing YouTube then or anything like that. I was barely on Twitter, but I don't know what the aspect of that would have been like. How would people have felt? Because I weren't too sure when we bought Gini. I was like, yeah, he just had a good season at Newcastle and they got relegated. And he's a good goal scoring midfielder, though. We need goals from midfield. And then he came and was defensive midfielder. So he got his position completely changed. And, you know, I'm looking at Mount. I don't know. I get everyone's concerns, though. I'm not saying I don't. Mulsheen, big up to you. We bought a striker, turned into a left winger in January. We bought a left winger and turned him into a striker. Being right, it's mad. It is mad. I do feel for Darwin. I'm going to say it right now. I feel for Darwin Núñez. He's not even played a 90-minute Premier League game yet. Does everyone know that?
To be fair, I feel for. I know I've gotten on to them all season, but Gakpo, Núñez, Carvalho, all the new players. I've actually felt really sorry for them. I felt sorry for them
they are actually good footballers. They've got a big opportunity at this football. I think Gakpo can be something if we put him in his right position. I think Darwin can be something if we put him in his right position. But these players, you need to build the team around them. So if you're going to buy a Darwin Núñez, you need to know what you're buying. When he was at Benfica, he played with a striker. He played alongside a striker. He played off somebody. And you know, he naturally drifts to the left, but it's different starting on the left, drifting in, than is starting through the middle and drifting left. It's a totally different way of playing. And I look at Darwin, I've always said, if you go play Gakpo as a false nine, right? You want to play Gakpo up top. Why don't you just play 4-4-2 and play Darwin and Gakpo up front together? Why don't you do that? Because I think that could work. You know, if Gakpo's going to play this deep role and drop deep, right? Which is, to be fair to Gakpo, he's actually quite good at it. He's got good ball retention. If you do that and you let Darwin and Darwin plays off him, that might work. Give it a go. Well, shit, nothing else is working. Try it out. You know what I mean? I can't see the problem with it.
How do I?
Darwin needs to kidnap Harry Kane's shooting coach and learn the finish. Yeah, look, Darwin's not a Harry Kane finisher. He's a one-touch finisher in the box. Look at all Darwin's goals when he's in the box. They're usually one-touch finishes, but we don't play to his strengths. We just play go fetch like he's at Kidbrook Park. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Around the corner for me, yeah.
we just throw a frisbee and go on, Darwin, go and get it for me, man. Go and get it for me. That's what we do to him.
We're running him into the grave like a dog, like a hunting dog, and that's what's gonna happen.
Because we looked at him and went, shit, he's quick and he's athletic, man. Let's just get that ball in behind. That's why we don't look as good when he don't play, because we haven't got an out ball.
Yeah.
When he don't play, we don't look as good and threatening because we haven't got an out ball. Right, let's talk about Leeds. So we got Leeds on Monday.
Monday. It was Saturday, yeah, but Monday.
Oh, yeah, on Monday. At least it can't ruin our weekend, I suppose. What are you expecting from this game, Jerry? What are you expecting from this game? And what did you think of the Arsenal game as well? What did you think of last week's Arsenal game?
On the Arsenal game, I thought we were so terrible in that first 30 minutes.
Yeah,
so bad. As in, we didn't know what we were doing. The inverted fullback wasn't working. Exposed Konate's deficiencies. Konate's been absolutely fantastic. I'm not criticizing his performance, because he actually, like you said earlier and alluded to, he was actually man of the match. But it showed that he's not that great on the ball. And when we needed him to, he was in those positions that Trent usually is in that right-hand side channel. He was getting all of the ball, but couldn't find his man. He kept losing the ball. Trent essentially was hiding when he was in that that kind of false DM position as he moved into there. But I don't really get it. But by hook or by crook, I know obviously we turned it up, and in that second half, it weren't pretty to watch. It wasn't pretty football, but we were dominant and we were creating chances. The crowd had a lot to play, a big part to play in that. Yeah, it was just a kind of passion, sweat, determination type of game, and Klopp would have probably been happy and with that kind of response. It wasn't the best game that I've watched, but it was an entertaining game. Like from a Liverpool's perspective, I don't know if it was the best game to watch, but it was very, very entertaining. Yeah, in regards to Leeds, I don't even know now, mate. What we've actually Liverpool have just become like Robin Hood. We take from the rich and just give it back to the poor. We take all the points off the big boys, and we're just going to hand them over. We're going to hand them over to Leeds and the like. I don't know. I know Leeds. I think they've won 2 in their last 5 games, so they haven't been that great. We did just come off a battering against Palace, but they're 2 points off relegation, I believe. 27, yeah, the 2 points. I think they've got 29 points. I mean, 27 points is 18th spot, so they're gonna be up for it. Yeah, it's a difficult game to call. I don't even know at this point. I mean, flip a coin, and I guess, and we hope flip a coin. Can't hear you, Jamie. You're on mute.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, all good.
Yeah, my mic come out the back. This team. I mean, yeah, that Arsenal game, as I said, it was probably the most entertaining game of the season in the whole of Premier League this year. I thought. Look, part of that Liverpool game in the second, that last hour. Now, first 30 minutes, Arsenal could have put us to the sword. We're terrible. We didn't look like we knew what way we wanted to set up. The players didn't look like they knew the system, the formation. Trent's playing inverted fullback. When you tell Trent you're playing inverted fullback, Trent's like, shit, I'm just a midfielder now. And that's the problem with Trent. I've been saying this a major. You can't play Trent as right back next season if you're going to play this inverted role, because it won't work, because Trent's first instinct is to attack, not defend. So he won't get back in defensive situations quick enough if you're going to play this inverted way. With John Stones playing this inverted way for Man City is a defender first, and he's good on the ball, but he'll always have his first thought is defending. So if anything happens, he'll get back in defensive situations. Trent's first thought is attacking. You saw that when he played inverted. He was left wing. He was in the number 10. He was in the number 6. He was in the number 8. You know, that's the issue there.
Yeah, I think as well with Trent, the problem you've got in that position, what you need a conductor when you're in that quarterback kind of role. A lot of the time, Trent doesn't conduct a game, so he's not like when we played Real Madrid. I think the greatest example is to watch what Camavinga did in that game. Weren't amazing. Made a couple runs, but didn't get a mad goal, didn't get a mad assist. But he was a top player because what he did, he got the ball and passed it off. I always look at Moussa Dembele that played for Tottenham. That's the type of player, and that's the type of player that you want in those spaces.
Pressure resistant as well.
Exactly. We had Gini Wijnaldum that did that. You had even like a really poor version of that, and sometimes he'd even get caught out because he'd go bombing forward. But Emre Can, he's kind of matured now, and he's doing that at Dortmund where he comes deeper, part of the back three. Rodri's obviously the best example. When you're doing that, Stone's done it fantastically against us. That's what you need. When you've got a player in there that's a bit more adventurous, that's looking to go and spam a through ball all the time or give away possession, then we're lacking, because when he gives away possession, you're now out of position, and it means the whole team is getting stretched over, and he's having to run back and cover the space that he's left because he's made this false kind of run. And we know he's not going to drop back into the defense and on spot the danger and be like, you know what, I'm going to make up this back four now, but I'm going to end up at centre back, because he's not the best defender that we've got. So for me, it's a tricky one. I wouldn't even play him, even if we're trying to do that. I wouldn't play him in mid. I wouldn't play him in that position. I don't think he's got the abilities to do that. Even though his long range pass and everything is fantastic, I think he hasn't got the other bits in his locker. At the moment.
Yeah, I agree. And also with like my whole thing with Trent is that I've always said that we should hide his weaknesses and show his strengths. Right, that's what you should do. Right. At the moment, we do it the other way around, and it's just balmy to me. And I've always said, I don't think it matters how much better Trent gets as a defender. In the system we play right now, I don't think it matters who comes in the midfield. The system's broken. Our system's been found out now. So no matter what players come into the midfield, you can go and get Bellingham, Barella, Rice. You can get all these players. We play the same system. We still go get found out in times, because we could play Northampton Town tomorrow, and their manager will say, go on, Trent. Get in the gaps around Trent. Trent is going to leave you gaps in this game at occasions. Make sure you're in that space and take over that space and cause some trouble in behind. And that's always going to be the case. And this is not me slagging Trent off. Trent's an exceptional talent. Put him in a position where he can show he's an exceptional talent. Play him right wing back. I don't know why we've never played a back three and played Trent at right wing back. You know, Trent can be in that more of attacking area of the pitch. You know, at full back, he's never got a defender behind him because he's the last line of that defence. As a wing back, you've got that third centre back that can come across, and Konate is quick enough to come across, cut out any danger. A midfielder can slot in between that defender and that full back, that wing back, and cover there. You know, and it gives Trent a bit more license to go forward because Trent is exceptionally good creativity-wise. You know, we know this, and you know, we ain't got much creativity in our team unless we buy a load of midfielders that are going to be creative and go that way and be more technical next season. Otherwise, we're wasting Trent at right back now. Let's just get him forward, get him in attacking areas, show his creativity. Look, he comes clutch at times, Trent, as well. That cross, doing Zinchenko on the byline and getting a beautiful pinpoint cross into Bobby on the 87th minute. It's a clutch moment. There's no other player in our team who does that for us. Yeah. Salah ain't going to do that, Zinchenko, and put a ball in. Salah's going to run at Zinchenko, try and go through him like he's a ghost, lose the ball, and get counter-attacked on, you know, or try and get a shot out and that goes 5 yards wide and we all pull our hair out and go, fucking hell, Salah. But Trent gets into them areas and he's got one thing in his mind, I'm going to put a lovely ball in for Bobby. That's what we need more from Trent. And I wouldn't have a problem with it. I look at Reece James in the same way. Reece James ain't actually that great of a defender. It's a myth, right? His defending's not great. It's just because he's a unit. Yeah, if Reece James weren't stocky and built, yeah, and was slight and skinny, no one would say anything. His performance against Real Madrid the other day was disgustingly bad, right? And no one picked it up. His defending was shocking. Reece James does the same as Trent. When he gets beaten, he gives up. He gives up exactly the same as Trent does because Reece James's first thing he wants to do is to attack as well. But Chelsea use him better than we use Trent because they do put him in wing back, right? We put Trent in full back and we don't. I look at Trent and Reece James at times and think they're quite similar players. They really are, from a defensive point of view, from an attacking point of view. I think Trent's a little bit better on the ball going forward in areas.
Yeah, I think what I would say with Reece James though, that is, I agree. I think to a certain extent, I don't think he's like a lockdown defender like Wan-Bissaka is.
No.
But the difference is because of his physical abilities. So, like you said, his size, his strength, the fact that he's got a bit more speed, a bit more acceleration, means that those are all things that go and help. Now, yeah, Vinicius done him up, but I've also seen him lock down a lot of defenders. Trent's got to be a bit more nuanced when he's defending because he's not as built, he's not as fast, he's not as athletic. So that's where he's got to go and kind of, you know, be a bit more intelligent with, all right, I'm going to stay in this position. I'm going to get low. I'm going to have my body position right. When you look at Konate as an example, it's really unorthodox the way he defends. But because he's so good in terms of his speed, his size, his physicality, he's able to just go and essentially just clean up really well. Matip, on the other hand, isn't as athletically dominant. So when you see him defend, you can see he just nips the ball away. Doesn't hardly concedes any fouls. He doesn't look like he's bundling over players. He just stays with his man and nips it. And I think that's the kind of area Trent needs to go in. I think Reece James, I agree. I don't think he's some lockdown defender, but his physical abilities enable him to get back into position much quicker, much easier. So he doesn't get done in the same way. I think that's the way I'd look at it personally.
Yeah, I agree. Oh, right. Before we go and pick this team for the Leeds game, guys, I want Jerry to speak on something that's very personal to him. Jerry, do you want me to put the thing up on the screen?
Yes, please. Yeah. So some of you guys have already obviously mentioned it in the chat, and big up to yourselves. And you probably would have seen it. If anyone was watching my stream on Tuesday, I came off for about 3 minutes. Got like a few phone calls from my mum that was saying, "Oh, my auntie is in the house, and obviously her flat caught fire." Obviously, still had to do the stream, but did. Came off, had to fly down. Obviously, her cat Leo obviously didn't make the fire, but luckily, obviously, my two younger cousins, and my auntie was basically like my sister, obviously managed to survive the fire. But the whole flat is completely like burnt, destroyed. Obviously, that's just one of the images. I can send more to go and see there. Obviously, we're just trying to, my family, so my mum, my uncles, and my auntie and myself, that decided to kind of start a GoFundMe to go and help my auntie. She was very, very reluctant to do so, but she's a very, very proud woman. But I was like, you know what? Cool. Like, we're still going to do this, and we're going to see if we can just try raise as much money as possible to go and help her. Because right now she's left with nothing. Her kids have no clothes, no, like, little things that we go and take for granted, laptop, console, all that type of stuff that's not even necessary, but their whole lives have been obviously ripped apart. They've got nowhere to live at the moment. So my auntie's staying with myself. Her 2 kids are staying with like friends and family and that type of stuff, but they're all kind of split away. So please, if you can, please make sure if you could donate, that would be a massive, I'll be like hugely appreciated from myself and obviously my family. If you can't, and I understand there's a lot of reasons to why people can't, just sharing the kind of the link, just sharing the kind of story, prayers as well, they're like hugely appreciated. Yeah, and that's as much as there is to it. Yeah, like I said, massive thank you to so many people that have already donated, raised up. Obviously, we can see there about 2.6 already, and that's in a couple of days. So you guys have done fantastically well. Yeah, that's been amazing. But yeah, so, and in terms of Scrap saying, doesn't she have household insurance and stuff like that? Well, it was a council flat, and no, she didn't have contents insurance. So yeah, the council obviously have their own insurance, but she didn't have to go and get that. The content insurance wasn't there, so it means that everything's gone. Obviously, the material things aren't important, but right now it's just kind of food, getting the kids like school uniform, everything's completely destroyed. So please, if you can help, that'd be hugely appreciated. Obviously, I don't want to take up too much of the time of the stream, be all melancholic and down and gloomy, because as I said, it is what it is. We keep powering through, man. Like, stuff like this happens, and I want people to understand that stuff like this happens. There's loads of stuff going. Jamie, as an example, people have seen, man, he's gone through stuff with his daughter, with his family, himself, and he's still out here, still producing, still streaming. So it's just please, if we could just obviously like prayers, donate, do whatever you can. I'd be hugely appreciated. And thank you to obviously the community, man.
There you go, guys. So there's a link pinned at the top of the live chat, guys, that will take you to this site where you can, if you've got a few quid to spare, guys. So yeah, help if you can, help out, guys. Of course, if you can't, we all understand. It's no worries, guys. But yeah, the link is pinned in the live chat if you want to go and have a look at this. They take you to this page that we're on there, guys. So go and give it a check out. Jerry's a big friend of the channel, and yeah, go and give him some help. Big up. Right, let's talk about this lineup. Right, let's get the lineup up. Let's pick this lineup. Oh god. Right. We'll go for what are we going? 4-3-3? He'll probably play 4-3-3, won't he?
Come on, JV. Don't get excited. I'm getting the lotion out. Are we hitting 3 at the back?
Right, we just heard in the today that Allison, I don't know what he picked up. A knock. He was ill, but he's doing individual training, and Kanate should be back in training today after picking a knock. So they're the two ifs and buts we got to think about. Luis Diaz is back in the squad, he said. Thiago's there. So pretty much everyone's back now. So I'll tell you what, let's start from the forward end first. Let's start from the front end instead of the goalkeeper. Let's go front to goalkeeper. Who would your front three be? With everyone's available now. So who would your front three be?
Everyone's available.
Yeah, everyone's available now in the front, in the attackers anyway. All the attackers are available.
I would go. I'd go Salah, Bobby, Nunes.
Salah, Bobby, Nunes.
I'd
have Bobby in as well.
Yeah, I think Gakpo's obviously done great. Yeah, like Gakpo's done great, but I think Bobby's actually just been good this season. Like it's just funny, isn't it? We wanted to get rid of Mane as soon as Mane was confirmed, or the club knew he was leaving. After AFCON, he picked up form. We're seeing the same thing with Bobby. He's actually been really good. I think when he came on against Arsenal, he showed his quality. Gakpo's kind of non-existent in that game, if I'm being honest, in the Arsenal game. So I think, yeah, he needs a break, but I'm not really blaming him. Salah, you know what it is. He's guaranteed goals. It doesn't matter how he's playing. He's just guaranteed to kind of just get a goal. So
is there a more frustrating player, though?
No, I don't think there is. Like,
He's so
on the eye,
frustrated.
he's gonna look good. It's not like he scores like lovely, beautiful like headers, or like he's a type of target man. Like he just
bags.
he's such a weird. He's a unicorn type of player, and you just got to play him. And then Nunes, as you alluded to, Jamie, I think the pacing behind that he's got, the fact that he's an outlet. I think he deserves to just get these games. He's been our marquee signing, but we've played him like he's a bit part type of player this season. I think he's got to just play the guy now, man. Play him. And I know he's not going to play down the middle at the moment, and I know the training, especially now, is not going to be geared towards kind of getting him used to playing down the centre. But you have to play him, I think. So I'd go Nunes, man. I'd go that front three.
Yeah, everyone's going Jota. I don't want to see Jota start this game.
I don't.
I said this because I said this on my show the other day, and I'm starting to think this now. How much does Jurgen Klopp rate Darwin Nunes? Because he came in as a striker, he played striker, then something happened, and then he went and got Gakpo and played him as a false nine, like he still likes the false nine situation. And then when Jota came back from months and months of injury, he starts straight away, and he's been starting every game since. And Darwin's the one missing out. So I look at, if I was Darwin, I'm actually sitting there thinking, hang on, I was bought as the big signing. I'm not playing in my position. You went and got another player who looks like he's going to be your striker. Jota comes back from months of injury and starts in front of me when he's terrible. You know, Darwin must be thinking, that's why I don't always blame Darwin. He must be thinking in his head, is it worth me hanging around here? I mean, Jota can't start though. Jota's he's not got the pace at the moment. He looks like he can't run.
And he can't finish.
No, 12 months now, and it ain't just injuries either. I think someone worked it out. It's like 29 games now without an actual goal.
Yeah.
It's just not good enough. It's just not good enough. But Bobby, yeah, you're right, Bobby. I think Bobby's always been really good when he either starts or when he comes on. He's always impressed.
Yeah, what I would say is actually, to be fair, I know I said I would start Bobby, and I actually would, but Angel 1968, you're 100% right. Why? There's actually an argument to say don't start Bobby, because we need to. That the season's done anyway. He's leaving. We need to get the likes of Gakpo minutes to kind of get accustomed to what Liverpool are doing, and the more minutes he's got under his belt, the more acclimatized he's going to be for next season. So there is maybe an argument to say you play the front three that's essentially going to be the main front three next season, and play Gakpo in there potentially.
I think it probably will be. Oh, where the fuck did he just go?
Oh no!
There you go. Gakpo's not allowed to play. There you go.
Right, two up top. All right.
There you go. What the fudge is going on here? What the hell's going on with this website? Look at all these saved ones. Jesus Christ! What the hell is? There we go. Right, let's do it again. Website bugged out. Right, Nunes. Right, Jesus Christ. Darwin Nunes. Gakpo. And yeah, to be fair, I don't think Klopp is going to start Bobby in any game now until the end of the season.
Yeah.
He might play him in the last game at Anfield.
I agree. I
think that's the game he starts him in. But you got to remember, with Adam Lallana, he didn't give a shit. He never played. And he loved Adam Lallana. Klopp loved Adam Lallana. And it was the last game at Anfield that he was never going to play. And he never even brought him on a sub. He's like, no, you can sit out, mate. You can sit out. He didn't bring him on, even when we was winning.
Get distracted.
He's just like, no. Look at Minamino, got us the 2 cup finals. He's like, no, you're not having no final time, my friend. Oh, man. It's funny. He can be ruthless like that, but then he keeps Hendo and Milner to Fabinho to their 40. It's mad. Midfield 3. This should be an interesting one. I think Thiago starts.
Oh, I wouldn't start him.
Yeah, I knew would I, but I think he starts every game when he's fit now.
Yeah, I know people are going to obviously try to kill me in the comments. I start on that left hand side. I start Jones. I think
I don't know why Curtis Jones should be dropped. I don't even know.
He's been our best midfielder this season. Not this season. The last 2 games. Whoa! Let me take that back. Yeah.
Rewind.
Yeah, rewind. No, he's been our best midfielder in the last 2 games. Look, even if right now, we don't know whether we're selling, whether he's going on loan, whether we're keeping him because of this whole, obviously, homegrown quota. If he plays well and we want to sell him, you sell him for a bit more. If he plays and he's rubbish, then you get rid of him because he's not good enough. Like, there's so many options, and he's still at that age where you just got to play the guy. And if he's playing well, we've got no. Our midfield's so stinky. I think you just play him. You just play him.
Yeah, and to give Curtis Jones a bit of credit, I thought he actually did all right against Arsenal as well. He was part of the reason why we scored the first goal. He had some good build-up play.
He's the one who played. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, Curtis has got technique. There's no doubt about that. He is a technically nice-looking player, but sometimes we moan about that our midfield loses the ball too much. And I think with Curtis, because he does keep the ball a bit too long sometimes, I think that is a benefit to us at the moment, having on the pitch.
Yeah.
So, yeah, look, it's weird as well. Harvey Elliott ain't getting much game time all of a sudden. And it looks like Curtis is now in front of Harvey again. I don't. It's weird what's going on there.
Yeah, it is.
I don't get it. I don't get what's going on with these youngsters. I don't know if Klopp likes youngsters. I've always said that. I think he likes a mature man. But it's just...
What category do I like today?
it's weird, but no, I ain't going to go Curtis Jones. I think he deserves it, to be fair. I think he deserves it. I mean, I don't see why he should be dropped for this game, to be fair. I don't. Right. I do not want to see... Only one of them can play for this game. Fabinho and Henderson played 3 games in 7 days last week. Now, they've had a week off and we play on Monday, so it's like 10 days since the last game. Does he go? I just think if Thiago's fit, Thiago starts this game. So either Curtis Jones is getting dropped and he's going Fabinho, Thiago and Hendo, or one of Hendo or Fabinho are getting dropped. We know that's how it's going. Because in my world, I think Thiago, Fabinho, and Henderson's going to be the
thing is, I would do that, but the problem is I know for a fact, like when we get to defense, a certain number 66 is going to be hopping into midfield, and we're going to need some legs around there. And
Hendo's the one who plays there.
Yeah, I know, but that's what I'm saying. So,
and Thiago's going to play, so it means no Curtis Jones probably.
I think Curtis 100% plays. I think he does. I think he's played the 2 games. I think the fact he played against Chelsea and Arsenal,
and he's fit. And while he's fit,
if he's fit, does Thiago play on the right? I don't know.
No,
I don't know. I personally think it's going to be the same midfield. I think there's been enough rest. I think Thiago's they're not gonna. It's done. I think he's going to come on, and if they need to change the game or keep the ball, he's going to come on. I don't think Thiago starts.
Fair enough.
I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry, people in the comments. I know you're not happy, but yeah, I don't think he starts.
Right. Let's go to this back 4 situation. So I think we can all put Trent in because he's going to play this inverted role again, ain't he?
Yeah.
It'd be weird if we just drop it for this game as well, by the way.
If we
brought it for the Arsenal game, who's the best team in the league, right? The best team in the league we brought it in for, but then we drop it for one of the worst teams in the league. Would make no sense whatsoever. It'd be mad if we drop it. He can't drop it now. Surely Trent's inverted right back till the end of the season now.
I mean, if he drops it, then it just further supports my argument that this was just reaction from Klopp. He saw Pep do it and was like, this looks interesting. I like this. Let's make Trent do it. And it's just, yeah.
Oh, it's mad. Yeah. Right. Robbo's definitely starting left back because he can't stand Tsimikas. Tsimikas is leaving, by the way. There's no way Tsimikas is staying next season.
Yeah, he's gone, man.
Yeah, Klopp can't. To be fair, look, I feel a bit for Tsimikas because when he was in form, he should have stayed in the team.
Yeah.
I do feel for him. Apparently, it's kicking off in the embargo section, by the way. in the Jurgen Klopp press conference in the embargo section. Apparently, it's kicking off.
Really?
Yeah, so I don't know why everyone's saying it in the chat, and I've just seen some people on Twitter say apparently it's kicking off in the embargo section. So
I wonder what's been said.
because in the embargo sections when they say the serious questions, ain't it? So that's what. You know, so something.
You told us Bellingham's coming. What happened, Klopp? You know how he gets rattled. So
Well, James Pearce has rattled him again, or something like that.
Yeah. You strangled him this time.
Right, centre backs. If Kanate's training, he's probably going to play, isn't he?
Yeah.
I love this guy. I love Kanate. I do. He's still got a lot to learn, obviously. I said it in my match review of the Arsenal game, even when I was doing the watch along, that I thought Kanate was at fault for the first Arsenal goal, and everyone came at me. I went, guys, he was out of position. You know,
he had to be. The problem is he had to be because Trent,
Robbo, and well, the other one as well was Fabinho.
Oh yes.
If you go back to that goal, everyone just ran past him. Literally, it was like a wave of Arsenal players just went, see you later, and just literally went run past him. So Kanate sort of had to come out of position because he saw 100 people running at him. So he had to come out. Virgil then had to tuck in a little bit because Robbo's doing something on the left side. And then Trent's inverted, and they're like, what are we doing here? So everyone was at fault for that goal. Everyone was at fault for that goal. But, yeah, Kanate decided I had enough in the second half and just went, I'm just going to go through people and just smash everyone up. And the bit I liked about Kanate is when Martinelli tried to drag him out wide. Kanate's like, not today, son. And just that's what Kanate can do. Kanate's a beast. When he learns the game more and more, because he's so young at the moment, the more he learns the game, and he's role in his team and being a defender, he's gonna be one of the best centre backs in Europe. There's no doubt about that. And when I looked at Upper Meccano's performance against Man City the other day, did you see that?
Yeah.
I was like, Jesus Christ, we bought a better defender. There's no doubt about it. Virgil, right? With Virgil, what do you think's gone wrong?
I think I know people talk about the aura. I think the loss of the confidence is gone. I think when you're playing with that type of aura and that confidence, you can't really replace that. Like people talk about form. There's a reason why your Ronaldos, your Messis, the top players are always perform in the biggest games and stuff because they have a confidence about them, which means like I'm always going to do this. I'm that guy. And I think he's starting to believe he's not, or he's starting to question it. Personally, I think injuries obviously have caught up with him, but not only that, I think he's reluctant to play in the formation that we're playing at the moment and in the style that we're playing. I know there was reports about him not like having an argument with Klopp in the dressing room. He's spoken to Van Gaal about not liking to play at the three at the back once before, and he actually openly went and came out and criticised Van Gaal.
Ooh.
I think
is that why we're not playing three at the back at Az as well?
Yeah, maybe, but he looks reluctant to go and do the job that's been required of him with Klopp, and whether that's physically or mentally, just doesn't want to do it. He's just not doing it, so he doesn't look as engaged in the games. Looks frustrated all the time. Loss of form's obviously been poor, and yeah, I think the team as a whole. I think we put such a massive reliance on Virgil because everyone else they haven't been of the same level. I mean, when you looked at from a defensive standpoint, anyway, you looked at the best defenses that have gone past. So you're looking at United's or Chelsea's. It wasn't just one centre back that was great and the rest were mediocre defenders or decent defenders. Everyone was solid defensively. So you look at that Chelsea team that had Vidic, Makelele in front of them. You had whoever at right back. Later on, after you had Terry, Cahill, Ivanovic, and Joe Cole as an example. Defensively, they're just all solid. With Michael Essien in front, they're just all solid. So it means from a defensive standpoint, they work better as a unit. Right now, I don't think we're in a good unit. The defense isn't a unit, as you just spoke about. We were all over the place for that first goal, and that's partly to blame on Verge. He hasn't really organised that back line well, but it's down to the tactics as well, because if they're telling Robbo to push on to go and support Jota or whoever's on the left wing, and they're telling Trent to do this inverted role, but they're telling Konate to get out to Martinelli to not allow the cross to get into, the whole team's being disjointed, but that's a message that's being broken down to the players. So it's scary. We're going to have to look at some replacements soon. It's getting to that age. He might not come back. I know we're in talks with Colwell at the moment. It's looking like us and United are really, really interested in Colwell from Brighton, and that's a player I really like in terms of getting him on the cards. I think he's really, really good on the ball. Left-sided centre-back, left-footed also, can play in between the lines. Yeah, it's a bit scary though. Like, he's my favourite player, so it is scary to go and see how you can just fall from grace. But yeah, football, I guess, man.
Yeah, I mean, look, with Verge, I look at it as that. I remember Palio Maldini saying once, I always remember this line when he said, "You shouldn't know how good your defenders can defend." Right? That's because the unit in front of your team should always help out your defence. You know, what we do at this moment in time is that Konate and Virgil have literally got to defend their goal every second of the game because we've got no midfield. It's just on them 24/7 continuously, and there's no help there. And also with Virgil as well. What people got to remember with Virgil is that Virgil is not an aggressive centre back, i.e., like Konate is. You know, you're not going to get Virgil throwing himself halfway in the air, and you know, he's not that kind of centre back. You know, he's a defender of space. That's the way he defends. He likes challenging the attacker in front of him. He spoke about it with Rio Ferdinand at the time when he likes challenging the attacker. He makes the attacker make a move and then he counters it. He's like playing chess with the striker all the time. And that's why no one really runs past Virgil a lot, because he's very good at doing that kind of defending. But when you had the knee injury he had, and then you're asking him to still play a high line when he's dropped a bit of pace, the knee's not as strong as it once was before. Virgil might be still worried about that twist and turn with the knee, playing that high line. You know, all that goes. Are we playing to Virgil's strengths as a defender as well? You know, there's all that. Would Virgil be better if we dropped back 5 yards, didn't play the high line? You know, just let him concentrate. Don't worry about VAR offsides and all that, and just defend. I bet he'd be a totally different player. So there's a lot of aspects to it. I'll wait until next season. If next season we've got a better midfield and the system's changed a little bit and Virgil's gone back to being the defender he was, then we all know this season was just one of them and we can move on. But next season's going to be the interesting one. Right. Alice obviously in goal. There's no issue there, as long as he's not ill or whatever it is he picked up in training.
I don't care if he's ill, man. He's got to play.
I mean, I like Kelleher. Don't get me wrong. I think
I do,
but Allison's Allison. I mean, it's the, you know, Allison's Allison. And there's the team, and I think that'll probably be the team that plays Saturday. But I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll have a bit of fun here quickly. We'll have a bit of fun. Let's go with the formation and team you would like him to pick, Jerry.
Oh, all right. All right. Yeah, you might. Let me get the lotion out 1 second. 3 at the back, please.
3 at the back. 3-5-2 or 3-4-3, or what one would you like? 3-2-2-3. That's a FIFA. That's a FIFA formation, ain't it? That's
no, not that. Yeah. I'd go with that.
3-4-3. Right, let's take the players out.
Okay. Can you move once you put the player in? I'll tell you when. Can you just drop him into the hole a bit? The forward. I want the forward.
I don't think you can move.
No,
we'll have a look when they're done. We'll have a look.
Yeah. So I'm going Gomez at right centre back.
Gomez. OEG.
Konate
in the middle.
Yeah. Verge. I'm going Thiago,
Left or right?
left, or Thiago left and Fab right.
There we go.
I'm going Trent on the right.
Yeah, it's where Trent could be dangerous, man.
On the left, interesting one.
You know, I went for left wing back when I did this formation, and everyone killed me for it. I went Gakpo.
You know what? I'd play Gakpo. Oh no, wait. No, you know what? I'll put Robbo there. Because I'm gonna do this instead.
There we go.
Yeah, and then on the left, I play Nunes.
Here we go.
Gakpo. And Salah. And can you move Gakpo?
Yeah.
Yeah. Move him there and bring Nunes and Salah a bit narrower.
Like that, yeah.
Like that. That's what I'd go with.
Yeah, that's a team, man. That's like a diamond there. Like, that's nice.
Yeah.
I don't know why we can't play that. Literally, why can't we play that?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know. You got Salah. Look, Salah comes in side more, so you got him where you want him. You know, because what we keep moaning about is when Mo is out here. Mo don't want to be out here. Mo wants to be here. This is where Mo's deadly. Mo's safe over here if you're an opposition player. Mo's deadly here. Getting Mo there. Darwin's better here than he is out there. Gakpo's got good ball retention, so him dropping deep was good. And Trent, like we keep right wing back, is perfect for you. You know, you got Trent can bomb into these areas. Fabinho can come across. Gomez can come across. And look, there's no space there. Then Gakpo can come deep and come into there, and he can go in that defensive way. I don't know why we're not trying this sort of thing. What have we got to lose now? No, the season's done for us in a way. Why don't we experiment a little bit more?
Yeah, and I think having that cover of Konate, Gomez, and like both of them, they're just quite athletic defenders. So once you get past Gomez, you've got Konate followed backing him up, and it might support Gomez. And I think Gomez has shown some of his best performances even this season have come from right back anyway.
Yeah.
In terms of so him playing in that position might actually suit him a bit more than playing in the kind of standard.
I think Gomez might suit a three at the back, you know.
Yeah, I agree.
Because his concentration levels, I think, is Gomez's main concern.
Yeah.
So, you know, with two extra defenders there, I think it just keeps him on edge a little bit more. And, you know, you get more out of his game. Because Joe Gomez is an athletic defender. And, you know, put him in that. That's a quick back three, you know. That's a quick back three. And, like, we like to push up as a team. So we're pushing up as a team. We're pressing up higher and we're doing this. You know, and everyone's pressing up a little bit. You know, there's a lot less room for the opposition to run into. Because if you do that, Konate can drop back into space, you know, because he's quick enough.
And it means,
you know, squeeze up the pitch better.
And it means what happens as well is that if for example, you'd have movement from Gakpo, so Gakpo might make runs out wide, for instance, to go and support. So if Gakpo makes a run out wide and he goes right there, all that happens is that Trent comes in the center.
Yeah, Trent comes here.
Comes in the center, and then and Robertson can bomb on, so he's right next to Nunes. And you've got Thiago, covering that, and you've got Fabinho covering that.
And you still got these three.
And Trent can go and do whatever he's doing. And if people say he's creative, and it gives us some fluidity, I think.
Yeah, I mean, Trent in these areas with like Darwin's and Salah's and Gakpo's running around him, you know, Trent can do bits. I mean, it's mad that we don't just give this a go now. Do you think any other manager in world football right now would have played three at the back this season for Liverpool?
100%. We saw it when Ten Hag was on, not Ten Hag, when Arteta was under pressure, he went to a five at the back. Conte went to a five at the back at Chelsea. I think any manager would.
Well,
we've
look at
seen.
City. City are playing four centre backs now. It's
Yeah,
like,
City playing 4 centre backs, but to be fair, their centre backs are very cultured on the like they're centre backs, but they're just footballers. So
yeah,
a
that's
Stones
what I
and
mean.
an Ake don't play like your standard centre back. So
No.
it does give you a bit more fluidity. But you're right, 4 centre backs and it's working. So
Yeah, it's mad. Look, I remember Spain winning the. Is it Spain won the Euros without a striker?
yeah,
Play Fabregas up front, and it was some of the best football I've ever seen international wise. You know, we don't. That is my whole thing this season. Our adaptation. There is no adapting. You know, we play our way, and if it works, it works. If it don't, it don't. It don't seem like the only adaptation I've seen this season is really the Arsenal game with Trent playing that inverted fullback role. I was like, that's something different. At least when I saw that and he was playing that, and we looked like we were playing three at the back at times with Robbo tucking in sometimes, I was like, well, it's different. That's all I've been asking for. Just a bit of difference. And look, we got a result out of it against the best team in England. Yeah, and I always said in that Arsenal game, I wouldn't care if we lost it because where we are, right, and where Arsenal are. But as long as I see passion and a performance that I can get behind and something changed, then I'm all right with it. So that result, I was perfectly happy with. I was happy with the 2-2. Celebrated like a win because I saw a difference in the game. You know, I saw different to what I've been watching in recent times. You know, I watched Chelsea the other day, and it was like, and Klopp said he saw a better performance against Chelsea. I was like, Klopp, I don't know what you're watching, son.
yeah.
That game was dead. Big up Rude Boy and Super Chat. This season, in my opinion, would have been much better if our manager hadn't been so obscene. Moving forward, he must exercise greater ruthlessness in his decision making. Yeah, I think we all agree with that. You know, you got to get people that don't agree with it and just think you're slagging Klopp off for the sake of slagging Klopp off. That's what I get told all the time. It's not. I'm a Liverpool fan who just wants my club to do better. I can't continuously make videos of FSG out because we all know they need to go. But at the end of the day, the manager's the manager, the players are the players, and if they're not performing, we're allowed to criticise, guys. You know, we're allowed to, I'm not going to sit there and take it. I'm not a prostitute. You know what I mean? I'm sitting there and taking it. It's simple. Simple as that, man. Simple as that. Right, guys, that is it. We're going to just end on predictions. So, guys, get your score predictions in the chat. So this is at Elland Road, ain't it? Leeds are terrible right now. Liverpool are terrible right now. If the players perform to any level they performed against Arsenal in that last hour, we win this quite simply with the players we got on the pitch. If Liverpool turn up like they did against Bournemouth after beating Man United 7-0 and think, oh, it's only Bournemouth, look, we've just done United, then we're going to get turned over. So that's how much of it is. I think we get the job done. I don't know why I got this much confidence. I actually think we're going to go on a winning run now. Don't ask me why, Jerry. I have no idea. I just I do it to myself all the time. I've just got it in my head that we're going to beat Leeds, we're going to beat Forest at home, then we're going to beat West Ham away, who are terrible at the moment, and then we've got Tottenham at home at Anfield. I just feel like we're going to go on some kind of weird run. The only game we lost in that hard 3 games was against City. We drew Chelsea and we drew to Arsenal. So I'm just looking at it now thinking, yeah, maybe we're going a little bit of a run. But yeah, I'm just trying to be a bit positive on a on a damn season. I just want to end the season really well. If we end the season really, really well, we win a lot of games now to the end of the season and finish 5th.
Positive going into the summer.
Positive going into next season and going into the summer, buying players, and then going to the next season with a bit of positivity. If we limp into next season by keep losing games and poor performances, it drags over because that's all we're going to think about over the summer. So that's why I'm trying to think positively, and hopefully the players are as well. So I'm going to go with a 2-0 win against Leeds.
Okay.
Because I'm stupid.
2-2 for me.
2-2.
Yeah,
I wouldn't be surprised.
I think we struggle. We're going to struggle because Leeds have a lot of legs. They've just got legs, and they're going to outwork us. We're going to have to be like they just are because their midfield it's just got more legs than us. Rodrigo, I didn't even realize he's got 11 goals in 17 games.
Yeah, that's gone sort of like missed by, ain't it? Good player.
Yeah, he's been all right. And then Wilfred Gnonto as well. the winger, playing on the left hand side, he's going to be a problem. He's going to be a problem, and if Trent's doing this inverted winger thing again, I think we're going to concede. I think we concede. So, I think 2-2. I think 2-2. I think we get a draw. I think they nick the draw at the end. I don't think it's going to be a great performance, though.
Yeah, our away form is dire as well, ain't it? So that's another thing to think about. These things have got to change, though. Hopefully, the positivity returns. Hopefully, they've had a great, as Klopp said, they've had an amazing training session. Everyone's bruised up, and they're looking
Hopefully
forward.
no one gets injured over the weekend, because we're going to have.
Oh man, yeah, they got 7 training sessions over this weekend. So.
Yeah. They've got 2 doubles and 1 triple.
It might, yeah. You wait. Kanate and Allison are not fit on Saturday. I'll do my nut. I'll do my nut. But guys, big up everyone. Thank you very much for joining us today. Don't forget that pinned link in the chat for the GoFundMe, guys. Go and check it out. If you can help, please help Jerry out. It'd be great for his auntie and their kids. The kids some school uniforms and stuff like that. They lost everything in the fire. So yeah, everything we can do to help on this channel, we will. Big up everyone. Thank you very much for all your super chats and everything. Thank you to new subscribers today on the channel as well. All the likes. Much love, guys. I'll be back tomorrow with some watch alongs. Enjoy the rest of your Friday, guys. See you tomorrow. Oh, guys, before that, don't forget to go and subscribe to the Jerry James Show if you've not done that already.
Yeah, I forgot. Yeah, subscribe, please.
Go and do it.
I forgot myself.
There it is. At the Jerry James Show. Just go and subscribe to Jerry, part of the Liverpool community. We all should be supporting each other. So go and subscribe to another great channel. Right, big up, everyone. Have a great Friday.